Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Nexus Gaming Series. I am Jay-Zon, and we've got a B East match coming up for you guys today. We got Victorious Juniors, we've got the Reepsville Gazette, and we've got the follow. Oh man, I need to resize those because my alerts are off kilter now. Let me fix that actually while we got a moment here. Didn't put them in properly with the cartography size now. There we go. Go ahead and replay that. Quick. Maha with the host. 3 viewers. Welcome everybody. Over from Maha's stream. And we're going to be going directly into game 1 here. These teams are ready to go. Let's hop on in. It is going to be Victorious Juniors versus the Reepsville Gazette. And map number 1 is going to be played out here on Braxis Holdout. So right away going into a very wave clear heavy map. Definitely I would expect high prioritization on the solo laners. And just in general, this is the kind of map where you want to focus on the ability to sustain on these beacons. Can be very important for you to just not feel the pressure of having to rotate too much. But of course, a good rotation game can really set you apart in a lot of ways from some of the other comps that people will try to run on this map. We've seen a couple of interesting styles come out in some of the pro play recently. Stuff such as the solo support Abathur, people going with, you know, heavy rotation comps with globals like the Haka and Falstad. But at the end of the day, we'll see what these teams are going to go with. Right away, coming out with the Stukov and the Diablo bands, 2 very highly contested heroes here that's very strong in the meta. Diablo, one of the strongest tanks, good sustain, and also takes very good advantage of globes, where you get a lot of extra globes from the globe generators on this map. And Garrosh is going to be the pickup. So the side of Victorious Juniors definitely going for the early the tank prioritization. They ban out the Diablo, they get the Garrosh, and Phoenix going to be picked up on the other side. Let me go ahead and go back over these follows here.
New follower detected.
Adam J. Craft, thank you very much for that follow. And replaying that real quick for y'all. And then, of course, Maha with the host. How could we forget about that one? There we go. Looks like they fit on the screen just about right now. Meanwhile, Malfurion picked up for the side of Reepsville. They're going to get Phoenix and Malfurion. So good sustained damage. Phoenix could be the solo laner, but typically we see him in the 4-man. And another solo laner picked up that also usually sits on front line. So we'll see if that is indeed the rotation and the plan here for Reepsville. But Chromie picked up for Victorious Juniors. That was a very quick lock-in. Good burst damage against the Malfurion. However, if it's not paired up with a good finishing power and a strong divey finishing DPS style hero, it could be tough because Malfurion does have good sustained healing to be able to slowly heal people up over time. Chromie, of course, not the best hero at bursting down somebody and finishing them off. More popularized as a hero that chunks somebody from full health to be low, allowing somebody like a Genji or a Tracer to be able to hop in there and finish them off at the low health levels. But we'll see what they've got in store here. Tychus, of course, a good pairing with the Garrosh. Garrosh, good displacement hero to be able to toss somebody back, get that ground breaker, and then Tychus, especially with the bigger they are able to deal a lot of damage to chunk them down to low health. So I'm a little bit worried about the overlap and how these heroes function for Victorious Juniors, but we'll see if they've got a plan here in these last 2 picks to be able to really seal the deal there. But they do ideally need a support and a solo lane still. I guess we'll see what their plan is. We do have the Rhaegar being banned out over on the side of Reepsville. So they have Malfurion already. Stukov already banned out. So now they're just looking to choke out the support pool. And they do end up taking out the Rhaegar, which is a good pairing with the Garrosh, who can usually live long enough to get those ancestrals, reset that health bar. But almost gotta wonder if Rhaegar's maybe doesn't have quite enough sustained healing on this map sometimes. He is still pretty popular in the meta, so no big shocker there. We're going to see Gul'dan banned out for the side of Victorious Juniors. Really staple on this map for his wave clear and his sustained damage style. So I do like that ban out quite a bit. They already have their mage. They're not going to need another one, so they're going to put a chokehold on the mages. 2 picks coming up here for the Reepsville Gazette. They could pick up their tank here, possibly another damage. The question is, what do they want to flex? Personally, I like the idea of flexing the solo laner here because they don't know what Victorious Juniors is going to have yet. But they are going to go ahead and go full on into the solo lane there with the Sonya, and they're going to pick up Stitches. So they're looking for the similar strategy to the Garrosh on the other side, by the way. Barn Easy, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream. So the Stitches pull is kind of similar to Garrosh's throw, that displacement idea. Stitches does it from a little bit safer distance, but also it's a little less consistent in terms of the fact that it depends completely on hitting that hook, pulling him back in. Can be very scary, though, in combination with Malfurion. Phoenix, of course, also is very strong damage to follow that up. And they still have one more pick to go to see what they really want to be able to lock that in to try and get those kills. Victorious Juniors with 2 picks here. You'd like to see them get a solo laner that does decently against Sonya. Leo is a good example of that. They got a lot of self-sustain in that lane. Support still needing to be picked up, and the Uther is going to be the pick for VJ over there. And they're going to be looking to use that Uther as follow-up to Garrosh as well. Of course, he has the stun, be able to lock him down once they've been tossed by Garrosh. Get that TC chain rolling. And Zarya picked up over on the side of the Reepsville Gazette. So, got to point out an interesting possible combo here. Phoenix, of course, does have Planet Cracker available. Kind of a new style heroic that can be done from across the map. Zarya, we've seen Gravitation Surge paired with that to try and pull members in and have them locked in for about 1.5 seconds, I believe, is the pull-in time, where Phoenix's Planet Cracker is about 4 seconds and deals quite a lot of damage to anything stuck in it. The Malfurion roots can also follow that up from Boiled Frogs. We'll see if that's the wombo that they are looking for here. Of course, there's not a whole lot of safety in that from side of Victorious Juniors. Uther does have the cleanse, also does have D shield available to try and really counter that. But I suppose we will see. So we are loading in here to game number 1. This one's going to be played out on Braxis Holdout. On the left, we're going to have Victorious Juniors. We're going to have Maxzilla on the Chromie. Nox is going to be playing the Tychus. J-Mac on the Garrosh. Belalos is going to be on the Uther. And we're going to see Tanzer on the Leoric. On the right, the Reepsville Gazette. We're going to see Akin on the Phoenix. Kaltum is going to be on the Stitches. Boiled Frogs is going to be on the Malfurion. Nikki Santorio going to be on the Zarya. And up in the top, in the solo lane, Jake the Snake is going to be on Sonya. Alright, so right away, both teams observing the standard rotations here, respecting the gentleman's code of having the solo laners go to the top lane. We'll get these talents up for you guys as well, so you can check those out as we go along. Instant toss there onto the Stitches. J-Mac getting in there, but Nox is in all kinds of pressure here from the Phoenix and the Zarya. Tons of damage. And that's going to be a very early first blood going over to the side of the Reepsville Gazette. Time trap goes off, but not quite in time to be able to get that Q out. But already 7 stacks in for Maxzilla. And that's one thing that Chromie does not struggle with on this map, is having targets available constantly throw Qs at. Now, whether or not they hit, that's completely up to Mac down there. But we will have Tanzer falling in the top here to Jake the Snake. It is just Leoric. He will come back out of that ghost form soon. But that's going to be 2 kills early here going over to the Reepsville Gazette. Also, a little bit of extra XP in the top lane there from Leo being dead. Oh, meanwhile, toss onto the Zarya. Did have that self-shield, a little bit of extra sustain down here for Reepsville, and Nox gets hooked there. Follow-up is good as well. They're able to knock him down. One thing I didn't consider with the Phoenix, he has quite a bit of slowing potential with the Q. So, can be decent follow-up to the Stitches hook to be able to at least slow them down as they attempt to rotate out. Meanwhile, top beacon not yet being prioritized by either one of these heroes. They are looking more for the lane presence. And Jake the Snake, I think this is a smart move by him because he knows that he mainly thrives when he's playing in that solo lane and he's in lane particularly. Because when he's fighting Leo on the point, that Drain Hope really gives Leo the advantage. So not really engaging on that too early. J-Mac, meanwhile, being hooked in and taken out here. Very low health. Does get a last-second heal there and is able to survive and escape. But the beacons, for now, are still being held by the Reepsville Gazette. They don't get the kill, but they force Garrosh to have to back. They don't really have the presence on the beacons at the moment, and they will get a 62% charge to start this off. Jake the Snake and Tanzer going back and forth here. Chromie falling in the bot, however. Action all over the place here on Brax's holdout. And for now, the bottom lane's going to look just fine, but Tanzer hits that Drain Hope, but it's going to be close. Spinning to win, though, is Jake the Snake as he wins the exchange. We'll get back the beacon, and that should pretty much ensure the full Zerg wave marching in the top here for the side of the Reepsville Gazette. J-Mac does toss Nikki once again. Not quite able to find what they were looking for in that kill potential, though. And this is what I'm talking about. They're good at chunking down the heroes. They have Chromie, who can chunk from a distance. They have Tychus, who can be good follow-up to be able to get heroes low, but they don't have a lot of finishing potential. Meanwhile, over on the side of the Reepsville Gazette, they have quite a lot of damage follow-up and good CC follow-up as well to pair with it. They have versatile damage that can come in, in a pretty sustained style, but still can really slow down the enemy team and help them get finishing kills. No real finisher, but just constant damage coming in from Zarya, from Phoenix. Now we do see the Zerg wave pushing in top here in the rotation, as both the solo laners will go to the bot, both 4-mans go to the top, and Stitches ends up falling. Maybe a little bit overzealous there for the side of the Reepsville Gazette, but they do end up getting themselves an early fort here. They've got about a level and a half lead right now, and right now things are looking pretty solid for the Reepsville Gazette as far as them winning the early game at least.
Oh, thank goodness. We live another day.
Call TM. Okay. Well, I'll try to remember that. Barn, thank you very much for the what am I thinking? The advice, the critique, if you will. Both teams rotating out here, grabbing themselves some early camps in the downtime between these beacon phases. Zerg waves cleaned up. What else do you really got to do other than get back into lanes, soak the XP, and get yourself some mercenary camps to try and help you push? All 4 of the regular camps picked up. Don't suspect anybody will be looking to boss anytime soon. Full 5-man commitment down here in the bot lane. Jake the Snake playing very careful. Not seeing any members out, and now seeing them all marching into the bot lane. He is going to stay right back on that fence. But look at the rotation coming in here for the side of the Reepsville Gazette. They are bush ganking it. And J-Mac taking some heat. They're going to think better of it, though. Deep in enemy territory. They do slow up the rotation a little bit, but rotation will still be here in plenty of time. from Victorious Juniors to be able to clean up this top lane. They do pile into the bot lane, and a huge hook there. The anticipation hook there from Call TM. Good follow-up as well. Leo will be back soon, but this is going to afford the opportunity for the Reepsville Gazette to take down the front wall here in bot, open up that fort, which, should they get themselves a Zerg wave, the Zerg will be marching in towards that bot lane this time around. Full 5-man commitment from both teams here, but this is an opportunity for the Reepsville Gazette. They do end up getting a hook. They get the root to follow up. Nox is in all kinds of trouble. Gets cleansed, but it's too late. He's going to end up falling, and that's going to be a big kill. We're going to see the Zarya is going to go into Gravitation Surge. Akin had already burned the Planet Cracker, however, but that is the heroic of choice. And as soon as they took down the Tychus, they had those heroics available. They had the opportunity to play patient, look for a hook engagement. If they didn't get that hook engagement, they still had the level 10s right around the corner. So big play coming in there for the side of the Reepsville Gazette. They are playing the macro game perfectly here. They send the Sonya up to the top lane. Jake the Snake trying to pressure Tanzer off here, trying to get this started on the cap. Meanwhile, the rotation coming in towards top from both teams, but they do cut off Nox in this rotation. Jake the Snake gonna step back for just a second and wait for the team, but here they come. Aggressive rotation in. J-Mac trying to toss Nikki away, but they are still on the chase. The hook comes in, catches J-Mac, and J-Mac is gonna go down. The beacons are gonna be capped. The charge is starting. Boiled Frogs trying to get everybody healed up here. The sustain is real, and it looks like Victorious Juniors may try to rotate to bot. They might look to try and get down to that bottom beacon to stop the cap, but they could feel the rotation, the counter rotation coming in by the Reepsville Gazette. Get a little spooked, and they're not going to go to that bot just yet. And we are going to see the Zerg wave popping out here in the bot lane. Here comes the Zerg filing on out of the pen. 100-0 on the charge. And we're going to see the rotation coming in from the Reepsville Gazette. They do get scouted out, though, by that Chromie time trap there. We will see the combo coming in once again as Uther ends up falling on the back end, gets caught out a little bit there. We actually have not seen the Gravitation Surge into the Planet Cracker just yet. Atkin not seeing what he really wanted to see there. But that does seem like the combo they are going for. We'll see if maybe they can pull it off, or if they even have to right now. The gate has fallen here in the bot lane. The Zerg wave still fairly healthy. All the big Zergs still available. Chunking down the keep now as they set their sights on it. And so are the members of the Reepsville Gazette. Multiple members getting low. They're going to have to back up here just a little bit. Level 10s are just about here for Victorious Juniors. We'll see the Groundbreaker falling. So at the end of the day, Reepsville Gazette just going to back up for now. Out come the heroics. We will take a look at these heroics real quick. Was indeed the Planet Cracker and the Gravitation Surge, along with Putrid Bile, Twilight Dream, and the Leap coming in from Jake the Snake, looking for those hard engages. And they're looking for another engage here as they're trying to invade this camp. They do end up successfully getting in on the point, and they're going to be looking to try and steal it. And then maybe there is the Planet Cracker with the Gravitation Surge. D-Shield comes down, though, onto Madzilla there. A little save for the moment, but Chromie ends up falling. A lot of pressure coming in there as they pushed in. They do trade out the Zarya, however, so a 1-for-1, which does sort of favor Victorious Juniors, at least in the XP department. But, oh, Jake the Snake gets tossed in to that middle wall section. There are turrets there that will shoot you down. So a 2-for-1 exchange, definitely in favor of Victorious Juniors down here in the bot lane. Chromie has finished the Q quest, of course. Now at 70. We do have the members of the Reepsville Gazette marching into the bot lane. Or I should say, going to be marching into the bot lane probably with this camp, unless they want to maybe take a look at invading.
Looks like the beacons are reactivating.
They can definitely push this up though and look to put a little pressure on this bottom keep. Now it looks like they're going directly for it. They're not even going to push up the wave. They're not going to look for the camp. They are all inning here with the Zarya, the extra sustain. They are willing to take the fight on the back end. The rotation comes in. Jake the Snake is going to get tossed. Does have the Zarya shield though. Gravitation Surge comes in. The Planet Cracker to follow. And that's going to be a couple quick kills here for the Reepsville Gazette. They pull off the combo. And Leo is going to fall as well. D-Shield having to be used on Belios himself. Say, Balalos. Belios is on a different team. But 3-level lead now for the Reepsville Gazette. They still have the talent tier advantage. You should be able to get 16 right around the time that level 13 comes in for Victorious Juniors, so they're doing a nice job on this snowball. They get both of these beacons. They've already got half the Zerg wave built up, which will be marching into the top lane. Panzer does come in to try to stop it, but nice hold here for the Reepsville Gazette. Nikki does get tossed. Gravitation Surge only catching the Uther. Meanwhile, the Zerg wave has been completed in its capping. And J-Mac ends up falling on the top end. And this is pretty much worst case scenario right now. Jake the Snake dives in the back with that leap. He's going to get taken down, though, by a very nice Dragon's Breath there from Maxilla. But meanwhile, we do have Tychus falling on the front end of that, so a 1-for-2 exchange. Tanzer is actually going to get eaten up by the Zerg wave here. Not respecting the Zerg at all. Bromy falling as well. Trying to have that flank position. And this is looking like the beginning of the end here for the for Victorious Juniors. I suppose it's also an end for the Reepsville Gazette, but in a good way. As they have their Zerg marching onto the keep. It is being chewed apart here. Or onto the core, I should say. And that is going to be it. Game 1 going over to the Reepsville Gazette on their map of choice here. Braxis holdout. They do it in style here. Very aggressive strategy. Very good turnout for them. Well, actually, that is not the scene I want. That's the scene I want. Give you guys a quick snapshot of the stats here. Quite a lot of damage coming out from Atkin there on the Phoenix. That's what he's well known for. A lot of damage as well from Chromie, from Maxilla. But I think, again, a lot of their problem was they didn't have good synergistic damage. You know, the Chromie and the Tychus are both very good at chunking down heroes and dealing a lot of initial engage damage, but neither of them are very good at finishing kills. It's not really their job. They didn't really have anybody, even the solo laner, that could really make up for that in team fighting situations. They got a lot of decent tosses, but you look at the healing stats, 37k from Malfurion, but 35k from Zarya. Nikki Santoro with some serious supporting power on that Zarya. Essentially acting as the double support comp here, but also pumping out a decent amount of damage are both of them. Where on the other side, Uther doesn't give you quite as much damage in return. We'll give you guys a quick snapshot of the talents, and then off to game number 2 we shall go. This, of course, is going to be played out on Cursed Hollow. So very different sort of map, you know, definitely much larger map, 3 lanes, and the map objective is a little different. Rather than being the long haul battle, we end up with a back and forth affair. It's another map where we often see rotation-heavy strategies, and you like to see, you know, globals here as well to be able to help you in that rotation game. And just in general, having good sustain, having good poke potential can be very strong here. I always call this the home of Abathur. A lot of people like a lot of what Abathur brings to the table on this map. With it being a global, with having these map objectives that pretty much force the enemy team to rotate to one particular area, allowing Abathur to body soak quite a lot. This is typically a late game map as well, so it lends itself to the Abathur strategy, where you're able to give up a little bit early in the game before you get to those level 10s and you really hit your power spike as a comp. We'll see. See what exactly they want to bring. Hot off the press, Barn Easy. Yeah, I mean, they definitely played very solid in that game number 1. Actually, let's go ahead and give them their win, by the way, while we're just sitting here putting the lobby together. They definitely earned it. All right. Let me just confirm that both teams are ready to go here. We are ready to go, and into game number 2 we shall indeed go. It is going to be Cursed Hollow. Victorious Juniors looking to bring this one back. Be a draw against the Reepsville Gazette, who dominated really on Brax's holdout. This is the map choice of Victorious Juniors, so I would expect them to have some sort of plan going in. We're going to have the Reepsville Gazette, though, having first pick, first ban. So we'll see what kind of prioritization they want to do. We saw heavy priority on choking out the supports last game, and kind of the pseudo support here in Medivh for this first ban out. He's a very good stall tactic hero, a good pseudo support, and Phoenix going to be banned out from Victorious Juniors, so they don't want to see that massive damage coming in once again from the Phoenix. It does leave both tanks open here for the Reepsville Gazette. We saw Diablo banned, and then Garrosh immediately picked up for Victorious Juniors. But they are going to decide to go to the Stukov instead. So Stukov, really considered the most powerful healer in the game right now. Of course, Malfurion also right in that category. But we do see this Stukov picked up early. Good sustained hero. Great ability to use that silence to either stall out this map objective, or really try and force enemy teams to rotate through certain choke points that they may not want to rotate through that silence. Area denial. Diablo and Maya picked up for the side of Victorious Juniors, though. Very strong start to their draft. Diablo, of course, just a real problem to have to deal with on the front line. Maya also offering some good displacement. And you ask yourself, how do you counter a Stukov, really? And it's heavy dive potential. You got to get on to him. But right now, the Reepsville Gazette trying to... I feel like their priority in this draft has to be countering that dive potential. And so Garrosh, of course, can be pretty difficult to deal with. It can be kind of hard to walk past him without being disrupted, of course. Also, though, it can be the kind of situation where if you dive too early or you don't dive in a coordinated effort, Garrosh can put you in a bad position that Stukov and Greymane and other, good follow-up heroes can really really take advantage of. Greymane, of course, very good follow-up to the Garrosh displacement. A lot of burst damage. A lot of finishing potential. And we will see the Jaina banned out. So we do see the Jaina paired a lot of times with the Garrosh. The burst damage that she can bring to the table to follow up that, that Wrecking Ball into Groundbreaker can be just back-breaking. Very, very difficult to deal with. The question now is, what is the ban out for the Reepsville Gazette? You gotta think Malfurion is right at the top of their ban list at this point. They've already taken Stukov, the best support in the game. Malfurion probably the next best, and a really great pairing with both Diablo and Maiev. And that is going to be the ban out here. I was trying to figure out what else they might try to ban, but I just don't see anything that's anywhere near as value as choking out the support pool at the moment. Show me that Alex Bell. So, yeah, we'll see. You know, Taki, I think that Alex Straza could definitely be a good option here for them. Mainly because of her poke and denial potential. I feel like on this map, she gets a little bit of extra value from her ability to have that long-ranged poke that is on a very, very short cooldown as well. Sonya is going to be selected for the solo lane. And it is going to be Alex Straza, so nice call out there, Taki. This is, of course, if I'm not... Correct me if I'm wrong, because Taki, of course, a member of Victoria's Secret, but this is a daughter team kind of situation, if I remember hearing correctly. But feel free to correct me if I'm wrong on that. But either way, we do see two more picks coming up here for the Reepsville Gazette. You're going to want some more follow-up potential to the Garrosh. They do want, ideally, a solo laner. They don't necessarily have to pick a standard solo laner. You might get yourself a global, such as Dahaka. Because they already have Greymane, who can function as the jungler. And the concept of solo lane on Cursed Hollow is a little bit strange, because you want to have the wave clear potential that a solo laner would bring, but you kind of have two different lanes that you want to cover. And I like this as an answer here, Thrall and Blaze. So first of all, that's going to slow down the dive potential of Diablo and Maiev. Having that strong front line makes it so that Stukov is really the only person you have to protect. And with all these melee heroes and all this CC and kill potential they have, it's going to be difficult to do that. So Victorious Jr. is going to take a little bit of a step back here. I'm going to go ahead and pick up the Kael'thas in response to that. Some good spread damage and good punish to heavy melee comps. The bomb spread can be kind of tough to deal with when you have a lot of melee and really no range damage. Greymane, the closest thing to a range damage dealer. That said, Thrall does have good poke ability. So does Greymane, so they don't necessarily have to stay stacked in melee all the time. Should definitely be interesting. Can the members of Victorious Juniors get the dive potential they want? Alex Straza does have quite a bit of dive ability as well with that Searing Flame. Post 10 can really aid the dive potential. Dive City, indeed. Alright, so we are loading in here. Game number 2. Victorious Jr. is looking to bring this to an even draw. And I am actually realizing that I have allied chat disabled, which is not really what we want here. Let me just fix that real quick. There we go.
The battle begins.
Alright, so we are loaded in here. Game number 2. Victorious Juniors on the left. It is going to be Nox on the Kael'thas. Tanzer is going to be on Sonya. Belalos is going to be on the Alex Straza. Maxzilla is going to be on the Maiev, and J-Mac on the Diablo. Meanwhile, on the right, we've got the Reepsville Gazette looking to make this a 2-0 sweep. We're going to have Akin on the Thrall. We're going to have Call TM on the Garrosh. Nikki Santoro is going to be on the Greymane. Boiled Frogs is going to be on the Stukov. And up in the top, Jake the Snake is going to be on Blaze. So for now, both teams going to send their 4-man to the mid, send their solo lane to the top, rotate out some members to the bot lane to go ahead and soak. Pretty standard rotations. And we'll see what these teams want to do for the soak. So instantly, Nikki Santoro rotating up here to grab the camp. Very quick rotation for Reepsville. And I like that. You know, I like the early camp prioritization on this map. Typically, there's not too much to be had in lane unless you really want to dedicate 3 or 4 members to pushing against a particularly weak early game, such as if somebody has an Abathur, something along those lines. By the way, let's bring up these talents for you guys. Oh, and the toss in onto Maxzilla. Does have the vault to dodge a lot of that early damage and is able to quickly rotate back. No real follow-up available there for Reepsville. But that's just, you know, let's just call working on the combo, right? You know, just practicing. Just saw somebody out, you know. Meanwhile, we will see camp in bot, not getting too much value. 2-man rotation here to be able to really fix that problem. Cleansing? Oh yeah, cleansing flame. Yeah. Alright, so Tanzer does prep the camp, but is going to go ahead and hold it. I like that call, you know, at the end of the day, there's not a whole lot of chance that we're going to see the members of the Reepsville Gazette going over to deny that.
And earn my favor.
We're going to have Kalthos rotating to it to pick it up on the way to the Trib. So they time that up perfectly. However, in mid, the camp is rotating in towards that front wall. Members of Victorious Jr. is going to have to clean that up. Meanwhile, Alex Straza is caught out in no man's land here. Balalos not going to make it out of that situation. That's a very strong rotation from the Reepsville Gazette. I told them that I would trip on it a couple of times tonight, and I did not disappoint. It's just too many. It's just too many consonants, really. I mean, Maxzilla though looking for the isolation, not quite able to find it there. Trying to get a couple of members pulled back in. But, I like the rotation here from Reepsville. They get the advantage in bot. They get the early trib. They keep members down here to push in and get a little advantage on the wall. Quick rotation out as soon as Victorious Juniors was available to counter-rotate. Meanwhile, in the top, Tanzer going to be caught out in another strong rotation. And right now, Reepsville just kind of rotating around the map, having their way with the members of Victorious Juniors. They will end up picking up the camp here, but there's just no way they can contest this tribute. And not only is Reepsville doing a very nice job of rotating and getting picks, but they're timing them extremely well. Getting them right before this map objective comes up really allows them to be able to just be uncontested on the tribs. And these tribute phases have gone so quickly with so little stalling of any kind. It is going to make it so that neither team's going to be anywhere close to 10 when this third one spawns. This could be an opportunity for the Reepsville Gazette to go ahead and give up the next shrine if they choose. To be able to stay out in lane and soak. Maybe get themselves even more of a level advantage in this race to 10. They definitely got options, though. They don't really have to do anything.
Shall we see who gathers enough tribute
Right now, it looks like they're rotating Greymane back to pick up the camp. Tanzer gets tossed here, now having to deal with both of these tanks up here. If there was any damage available, that would have been a dead Sonya, but I think they're slowly starting to rotate up towards the top. Question is, will they actually contest this? They are in position to maybe try and stall this out. Greymane is a long ways away, but does appear to be rotating up. And it looks like they're looking for the stall game. They have the camp pushing in bot, which is going to be a nice advantage for them. They do have good poke ability despite being a heavy melee comp. Jake the Snake is going to go ahead and throw out that interrupt. Chain Lightning is not going to make it back, so Thrall's going to actually have to go back and interrupt it manually there. They do dive in. They're getting some backline pressure. Meanwhile, the front line somehow staying very healthy as they're dealing with the dive from Maiev and Sonya. And right now, the members of the Reepsville Gazette just staying healthy, getting members out. Good focus targeting as well, as they're only really focusing on killing 1 or 2 members at a time. Meanwhile, a lot of spread damage, a lot of issues focusing targets because they have the dive potential. The KT cannot dive with them, really. You know, it's the Sonya, the Diablo, and the Maiev that can dive on the back line, but you saw there that the members of the Reepsville Gazette just kind of dealt with that on the back line. Stukov keeping everybody healed up who was being dived. And who else do you dive? You know, you dive Stukov and maybe Greymane on the back line, but they don't really mind that too much. Thrall, however, being isolated in the mid, so that's going to be first kill of the game going over to Victorious Juniors as they defend out the bot lane. Or the mid lane, I should say. The bot lane fort is completely gone. Members of the Reepsville Gazette getting that as their prize for a slightly late rotation from Greymane, getting that camp. But worked out well for them. They get the first curse. They get 2 forts. Out of this, they're going to pick up a boss right away here. Could look to make the double boss play if that's where they want to go. Tanzer is starting this down here. But there's going to be plenty of time for the Reepsville Gazette to rotate in on this. Yeah, Thrall's already scouted this out. Tanzer's going to try and leave, but if I'm Thrall, I am definitely not letting this thing heal up. Oh, but they have actually found on the top end. I take it back. J-Mac caught out. Multiple members low. They're going to have to hop into the bunker. Pyroblast coming out on Jake the Snake there. Meanwhile, Nox is being dived on the back end. And nice defense there. But meanwhile, at the end of the day, it ends up being a 2-for-2 exchange. Diablo, giving up his souls, is back. It's going to be pretty even exchange there. Meanwhile, Boss was pushing the entire time in the top lane. Kapow. Kapow indeed. Members of Reepsville looking towards the boss, but not going to end up trying to finish that off. And instead rotate out to lanes. What can they really do here? They can look to get camps if they want to, but mainly looks like their priority is just to make sure that Victorious Juniors isn't going to get this boss. Oh, and they find Balalos. The taunt comes down, and that is going to be 1 dead Dragon Queen. Oh, the Sunder coming in as Nox is going to get isolated. The boss even ready to get in on that with the slam. J-Mac is going to fall. And Nikki Santoro getting the triple kill there. And they earn themselves a free boss, free trib. I guess it's not free. They did earn it, but, you know. The earning has already happened, so from here on out, it's free. I like the rotation in from Tanzer, though. They're going to go to the top. They're going to take down a little bit of structure up here. Try and get that level 13 in. There's not really much else for them to do other than split out after that team fight. But the quick rotation, the quick answer to that is going to allow them to at least get something. out of this situation. Tribute is picked up in the bot lane. Boss is pushing in. Hammering the wall there. He's going to take it down. The members are here. This is all, these 4 members. Blaze answering to that top push. Level 13s are in, so the question for Victorious Juniors is whether or not they want to try to push in. Could have been an opportunity there, I feel like, for Victorious Juniors to get that fight before the level 16s came in, but they elected to just safe clear the boss. Didn't want to dive the back line. That's been kind of rough. The Pyroblast is a pretty interesting pick here from Nox. Kind of allows him to affect the back line without having to literally dive with the members of Victorious Juniors on the front end, but we'll see. Level 16 is so close here. J-Mac does scout them out there with the Fire Stomp. Greymane gonna rotate to mid to get the last bit of XP they need. They actually get it through Trickle, however. And now this is a situation where I don't feel like Victorious Juniors can really hope to contest this. They also have the camps pushing in both mid and bot. So the longer they're here, the more value those camps are gonna get. And the Reepsville Gazette knows that. They're not necessarily in a huge hurry to force this engage. They're looking for an opening to really be able to do that. 3-man tether, though, into the APOC and the Warden's Cage, and Stukov falls. The dive finally working out here for Victorious Juniors, and they're taking this fight down the 16 talents here. Toss on to Tanzer. He's going to put him in range of the fort, but Call TM is just no way he's going to live through this. And signs of life coming in from Victorious Juniors. They get the 3-for-0 team fight. They get a nice amount of XP off of that. Pretty much 2 full levels there. In terms of catching up on XP, now they can rotate out to lanes. They do lose the bottom fort. They lose some damage off the bottom keep. But I think still that's a good trade. Tanzer, however, is out here in no man's land against 2 members of the Reepsville Gazette. Trying to trade out, but it's just not going to be enough. The members were rotating in here, and J-Mac actually might be looking to make this a counter kill. Atkin showing us how he's working on leg day with that speedy running, but not quite able to make it out. End up as a 1-for-1 trade, which of course does favor the lower XP team, which at that point was Victorious Juniors. Level 16 will be accomplished. Sonya is going to be back way faster than Thrall here as well, so should be a free tribute here. Reepsville knows that, and they're not going to try to contest on this point. Instead, they're just going to go directly up here, grab the boss. Easy peasy. Everything is free. Yeah, Adam knows. Adam knows. Call TM looking for that toss, looking to find somebody. Finds J-Mac. Toss does come in along with the taunt. And the silence and the roots. And I don't know if I was allowed to show that on camera, folks, but I did it anyway. That's going to be a huge pick going over the Reepsville Gazette. Now, of course, Diablo didn't have his souls. He didn't give up 100 souls for that kill, which is a blessing in disguise. I think most Diablos would rather take the kill timer most of the time than give up the souls. How broken would Diablo be if they changed that to act more like Kel'Thuzad's phylactery, where he could choose to give up the souls? I think it'd be pretty strong. Diablo's already strong enough, though. I don't see Blizzard changing that anytime soon. Anyway, Victorious Juniors. They got Diablo back. This is Curse Point for them, But looks like right now this could end up being a disaster. Maxzilla getting tossed in and targeted. We do have the Sunder coming out. However, Tanzer is on the back line surviving for the moment. Spinning, not quite able to get the winning part of that rolling though. Now it's going to be a 2-for-0. Reepsville. Gonna continue in on the chase, and Nox gonna end up falling. 3-for-0 exchange. Plus there is a huge buildup here in bot. There's a lot of minions piling in here. And it looks like they are rotating directly to boss. They could actually go directly to keep and secure it. But boss should also do much the same thing. Minions alone gonna take out a ton of that for keep health. But the bigger story here is the Reepsville Gazette getting very close to level 20. This next tribute is going to be spawning in top, and that's going to be about 30 seconds from now. That is going to be, with this keep, should be plenty of time for them to soak the level 20. Not only that, but this is curse point for either team, no matter who picks it up. Now, it looks like right now the members of Victorious Juniors are just going to give up this keep. They're not even worried about it. Tanzer does get tossed, taunted, dark flighted, go for the throated, and they are looking to boss. They're looking to push this boss directly into the core. And with 2 members up in the top, the defense tools are just not here. The Lalos getting very low, having to back up, but the boss is ripping apart the core. And just like that, the Reepsville Gazette turning this keep call into a core call. And that is going to be it. Game number 2 and the series going over to the Reepsville Gazette. Very, very strong performance. Good shot calling coming out here. I don't know if that was a boss call the whole time, but Victorious Juniors prioritizing getting the curse. And the Reepsville Gazette just going in full with that. Adam, yeah, like I said, I think that would be really cool, but I also don't think that would be viable in the meta. But either way, gotta give huge shout outs to the members of the Reepsville Gazette. I really like their comp coming out, and in response to the Divey Diablo Maev. You know, once you have Stukov and the enemy team turns dive, you have to have something to protect him. And so instead they just put up some dive themselves and made Stukov really the only viable dive target. At that point, all you have to do is just protect the Stukov and put more pressure on the enemy's back line and squishy heroes than their own. And they did a great job of doing that. I will look to see if I can get it in somebody for an interview here. All right.
Hello.
Hello, and I am joined by team co-captain, I'm guessing. Call
Yes, sir.
PM. Welcome. Congratulations on the win. How are you guys feeling?
Thank you. We feel pretty good. Been getting better, every week. So, a good victory for us.
All right, so we'll talk a little bit about these drafts early. In the first game, you guys get Phoenix. You guys are on Brax's holdout. Is that Zarya with the gravitation surge the whole time, or was that a response to the enemy team draft?
Pretty much a response, I would say. Zarya is a good pocket pick for us. Nikki Santoro plays it pretty well, so we like to, he's our flex player, so we save him for last. And anytime we get something, especially something like a Chromie, where, you know, they got a lot of predictable damage, we'll run a Zarya comp, especially if we have like a Stitches, things like that. So it was not necessarily premeditated, but definitely something we've done before.
All right.
Specifically on that map.
Yeah, and it worked out very well for you guys. You guys had Zarya have just about the same amount of healing as your actual main support. So I'd say that pick definitely worked out.
And
that's
that's exactly what the Chromie specifically, you know, very predictable damage. So he's pretty good with his shields. Hits a Chromie combo, negates it entirely. She sets herself up for my hook. Just easy pickings at that point.
All right, so draft number 2, you guys come in with an early Stukov. You guys see Diablo Maiev on the other side. What is your guys' mindset looking at all that dive onto Stukov, and how did you guys respond to it?
Well, we were kind of in a bad spot, in my opinion, in our draft because they had a lot of dive, and I didn't think we really had much to deal with it. So we kind of got a little uncomfortable as far as what we could pick to kind of negate it all. So we kind of went with comfort heroes, to be honest. That's why we went with the Thrall. Jake's been working on his Blaze. We figured with the bunker and his extra stun to help us kind of back it up. Our whole plan was just to kind of bait out their cooldowns a bit. You know, sometimes it worked better than others, but you saw them that I think it was the second fight top where when they execute, when they hit us with the Warden's Cage, the APOC, the KT, you know, if they get everything going for them, there's just no way to really win that fight. So especially if they get their Dragon pop. I think that they had the tools to beat us. I think that we just kind of outplayed the team fights a little bit, again, by kind of staying back. Got a few good picks. Caught the Diablo out rotating bot one time. Caught the Alex out before the bottom tribute one time. So just kind of playing smart, being in the right spot, I think was the key to beating that comp. I think if we fought 5v5 straight up most of the time, they probably would have beat us.
Yeah, very patient team fighting coming in from you guys for sure. And that call at the end, you guys decide to go to the bottom, to the bottom boss. You pick up the boss. Is that a core call all the way, or were you guys just looking and waiting to see what the response was? What was your guys'
response? Yeah, that we probably didn't anticipate a core call. We knew we were getting keep. Keep was probably about halfway. We got the boss. We knew we were getting keep 100%. But once the Diablo showed top, Diablo solo went top for the objective. So then it just became Blaze, just hold them there. Like, we can win this without their Diablo. We got the pick on the Sonya, and then we knew it was core all the way. So it was definitely a response. I think that we kind of capitalized on one of their misplays. I don't think sending the Diablo top was the right call for them. So once we saw that, we knew it was pretty home free at that point.
Home free it was. The word free was thrown out quite a bit throughout that game, by the way. You guys earning a lot of very early tributes or good picks that ended up being uncontested. Just a lot of really good rotations from you guys. It was really impressive to see. But either way, that's pretty much all the questions I have for you. But if you'd like to make any shout outs, the floor is yours.
Just shout out to the team, man. We've been this is our first time playing not only really as a 5-man, but especially in a competitive environment. We started off kind of shaky, been working on our comms, our comps, our comfort picks. We first started off trying to play meta heroes as much as we could, and then we realized that our best shot to win is to just play heroes we're good at. So the last couple of weeks we've been finding success, so good job to them, good job to our fans, which have been spamming your chat, I see. Adam J. Kraft, one of our reserve players, so shout out to him. He's here, supporting us, waiting for his time and need. But and thanks to you, man, for casting. It's always appreciated. We love watching the VODs. You give us a very easy VOD review tool, so props to you, keeping the scene alive. Everyone else who's watching, good stuff.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's always a pleasure to cast for NGS, and you guys were very entertaining to watch today. Congratulations once again on the win, and have a good night.
Thanks a lot, guys. We'll see you around.
All right, well, that is going to do it for me tonight, guys. Thank you, everybody, for coming out and watching. I don't know where my camera's going. It's trying to go all over the place. But either way, thank you, Swing Time, by the way, for that host. Welcome, everybody. You made it just in time for the end. I'm actually going to throw it over to Bahamut. It looks like he is playing for the King. But we'll keep it within the NGS family either way whenever we can. And want to thank everybody for all the support. All the NGS fans, all fans of my stream, feel free to come back, follow, and watch more NGS action here in the future. I'm certainly not going to stop casting anytime soon, and I guess that's about it. I'll have this VOD along with all the VODs for my matches up on my YouTube channel. You guys can go check those out over there. And for NGS, I am Jason. I will see you guys next time. Have a good night.